Do you ever wonder what your dreams mean?
Do they mean anything at all, or are they just a way for you to burn off mental energy at night?
That's what we wanted to know, so we asked the universe.
Welcome to this episode of What's the Universe Say About That?
I'm Mary Obana, and along with my husband Michael, we ask the universe for answers. You see, I'm blessed with this beautiful gift where I get quiet and I can connect with the loving guidance of the universe.
So today, you'll see and hear Mary connect directly to that divine guidance and hear the words of wisdom flow directly through her in response to questions about life and the challenges we all face at certain times.
So, welcome to our home.
And welcome to this now normal, but always amazing part of our daily lives. So sit back, get ready, and let's hear what the universe has to say about that.
Let's do it. Hi there.
Hey, everybody. Today we have a fun one. Sometimes we deal with kind of heavier topics. This is something that I think everyone has wondered at some point in their life. It's about dreams. So what do they mean? Do they mean anything? You know, there's a scientific explanation. There's a philosophical interpretation of these. I just want to know what the universe has to say about why we dream. Do dreams mean anything? And if so, what are they to teach us?
Great question.
Okay. All right.
Let's get
No
right
idea.
into it.
No idea where this is going to go. But
All right, let's go.
all
Great
right.
question. All right. Yes, dreams. It's something everyone has, but not everyone remembers. What is it that you are to know about dreams? What role do they play in the human experience? Dreams are a way for your body to release energy. This is true. But dreams can also be a way to connect to that which you cannot see. You see, the non physical energy that is present amongst each and every one of you is always trying to communicate with you. And sometimes you receive that communication. Sometimes you receive it and attribute it to something else. And sometimes you don't notice it at all. The thing about dreams is that you are in a state of quiet. And the reason why it is so difficult for so many to connect with that non physical energy and communication that is always reaching out to you is because the mind is incredibly noisy. When the mind is noisy, it is difficult to receive, to hear, to notice that which is coming to you in often very subtle ways. When you are sleeping, you are quiet. When you are sleeping, there is the opportunity to receive. So, does this mean that every dream is a message? No, not all dreams are messages. It is true, as science has shown, that sometimes dreams are just the mind's way of releasing energy that is within the mind. But how are you to know when something comes from the non physical? When a dream that you've had is connecting you with the non physical? When you feel, when you wake, something that sticks with you, that feels very real, when it has a presence that stays with you. It is often because it is a message that you are to know. Dreams can often be quick to release. You can dream and wake up and not remember a thing. But when you wake and something still resides within you, when something that has been received feels meaningful, it is often because it is. What comes through can be many things. It can be someone who loves you, who is no longer in the physical, that is trying to communicate with you, that wants you to know something, that wants you to feel something. Sometimes it's a story that sits with you because it feels relevant. It is the staying with you part that distinguishes it. It is the meaning that is felt that distinguishes it. So, dreams are a beautiful way to receive the messages, the love, to communicate with that which you cannot see. It is something to be accepted and relished. It is real. It is real. Take to heart that which is received and felt so deeply. There's always meaning. There's always something you are to know.
So this it's kind of interesting. This reminds me of conversations we've had in the past where it's the busy mind versus the messages that we get or maybe connect with or hear at some point. It's hard to distinguish when the mind is going nonstop, and it's hard to distinguish between those busy mind thoughts and these soft whispers of messages. So you said the one way to determine the difference is if they stick with you. I can tell you, I even think from a dreaming perspective, anyone that's gone through traumatic events or traumas of any kind, maybe they hold stories or whatever, those stick with you and they can repeat and repeat and repeat. And you wake up, you go through a night of anxiety and you wake up anxious, and that anxiety stays with you and then it
Mm.
repeats. So that's an example of something. I don't know if that's a message. It doesn't feel like a message. It feels like a brain anxiety.
Oh, we are so delighted you asked this question.
Good.
The non physical is grounded in deep love. It is love. When you receive and feel something that feels like love, that feels that it is for your good, that feels that it is as if it is something you must know, that feels like truth. This, these are the hallmarks of messages from the non physical.
Mm.
The non physical never sends you things to be anxious about, things to be sad and regretful about, things to ruminate over in a way that is low vibrating energy. These are telltale signs of the mind at work. There is no fear or anxiety that comes from the love that is for each and every one of you from the non physical. They are different energies. You asked a question too about this distinguishing from the messages from the non physical and that which comes from the mind. We wish to remind you that when messages come, whether you are in an awakened state or not, these messages are nonlinear, meaning they are not results of a protracted thought, logic leading you from one place to another. Those are thoughts that come from the mind. When messages are received, they come seemingly out of nowhere. They are received in a way that feels like truth. They are received with a profound energy. They can be simple in nature. This does not mean they are long, protracted soliloquies of wisdom, though they can be. Often they can be succinct, simple, but they are always understood immediately. They are always received with truth. They are always received with you feeling the weight of its significance. You have received such feelings and communication.
Mhm.
You also have a very busy mind. How would you describe the difference in the way it feels?
You said it perfectly. It comes with a certain instant understanding that thoughts of the mind come, they feel like ideas that can come and go and feel like a flash at 1 second and then just disappear, where the messages feel more substantive. I think the perfect thing you said is they come with understanding. Ideas come with light bulbs, flash bulbs, and
And debate.
and debate. Yeah, that's a good point. Even debate within your mind. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. There's no debating a message. It's just understood and
Yes.
it lands.
Yes. With immediacy.
Can we? Is there? Do we have the capacity to be in that kind of communication, like at all times, or I mean, does it depend on every person? But can we work to have more of that connection versus the occasional the clouds separate for a minute and then you see the sun, meaning the message, comes through and then the clouds close up. Is it possible, and is there a way to live in stronger communication?
Let me ask this question of you. You have people that you are in relationship with, that you make an effort to communicate with. And there are those that you may be close to, but you don't call very often. This relationship is one that requires effort and intention. like any relationship.
Mm.
This is not a friend who barges in without invitation, though, if it is important enough, it will. If it is urgent enough, it will. But you see, it is a relationship. It is creating the invitation. Mary speaks about this a lot because her relationship is continuous, yet it is one that she is open to. She is always in relationship with. It is not as if it is a nosy friend who is constantly pummeling you with thoughts. It is one that requires an exchange, you see, and an acknowledgement when you receive it. When you receive the messages from the non physical, it is always best to acknowledge it. It is just like a friend who you speak with, but they're not listening. You don't continue to speak, do you?
True.
Think about this connection with the divine, with this infinite wisdom, with this love and this guidance to be as active as you wish it to be. But it requires an exchange, it requires intention, it requires nurturing, like any relationship, you see. So if you wish to be in more continuous connection with this non physical energy of wisdom and love, then it requires engagement. It requires setting aside the space and the quiet so you can receive that which comes through.
So getting into bed at night, not turning on the TV, not creating lots of distractions, and then falling asleep. You're going to have one type of dream or openness to messages versus intentionally going to sleep with the idea of openness and intention of receiving. You'll have a different experience.
Yes. Thank you for sharing with me what it is I must know.
Yeah. Yeah. That's beautiful. Thank you. Very practical.
We always delight in your questions.
I've got I've got a never-ending supply.
We are always here for you.
Thank you.
Hmm.
That was cool.
Yeah,
That
I
was
like
cool.
that.
Yeah.
And it evolved into not just dreaming, but
Yeah.
in how that communication comes through.
Yeah, that was very cool. I'm gonna try it tonight.
Mm.
Yeah. So don't you be distracting me. Ah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It
That
is
was
so
simple.
true that that energy and that presence. I mean, one thing I've certainly learned is that presence is always there.
Yeah.
It's always there.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of
And as strongly as you feel that, and I know it's true, and I even understand that it's always there.
mm,
But as strong as you feel it, I'm not kind of, I'm on the opposite extreme where it has to be it has to be very intentional.
mm,
It's like a muscle that I just haven't really developed, and
mhm,
it's not a default state for it's a default state for you.
mhm,
It's not for me. So it
mhm,
does take more intention, does take practice, but I've been unbelievably blessed to have experienced it,
mhm, mhm,
in It's
Sprinkles.
sprinkles,
Yeah.
so I know what it feels like. And when they said that it comes with, because I've had a hard time describing. I just say it, when you get that message, and I know the difference. I could never articulate the difference. It's just like it lands. It's like thud,
Mhm.
but in a good way. It just it shuts your brain down
Mhm.
because it's just so clear and obvious and true.
Mhm.
You see it as only truth.
Mhm.
It's not a subjective truth. It's just a truth.
Mhm.
Um, so I've always had a hard time kind of explaining it, but really what they said is that's the difference is it comes with understanding.
Mhm.
So ideas don't come with understanding.
Mhm.
Ideas or thoughts come with ex- expectations or possibilities or,
Mhm.
debate,
Yeah.
as they said. So it
Mhm.
comes with a lot of other stuff, which just
Yeah,
you just
for
kind of go
sure.
deeper down the
Yeah.
rat hole,
Yeah.
or the rabbit hole, is probably a better hole to the rabbit hole. But it comes when the messages come. It comes with boom understanding,
Yeah.
and it's beautiful. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
and
So
they
I've
they
experienced it.
feel that you've it feels different.
Oh,
It
completely
feels different. Yeah, and it's never with judgment or, it just comes with this kinda
understanding.
gravity and understanding
Yeah,
and also, like, love in the sense that it's always good for you. It's never like, "Oh,"
yeah.
I don't know, there's something that's
It's really
feels very
interesting with all
different.
the messages we get. Um, I mean, you can almost literally create a column list of all the thoughts and feelings and emotion. And I'm not going to call it negative, but they feel negative.
Mhm,
And then on the other side, positive. And really, what the difference is, from what I've learned, is it's low vibration energies
mhm,
and high vibration
mhm,
energies. And all the high vibration ones, we know what that feels like.
mhm.
It's love, it's patience, it's gratitude. It's all
Yeah,
those
it's
beautiful
optimism, it's
things.
all
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all good. It
Mhm,
feels completely different.
mhm.
And then all the what you would normally say is negative, but take out the word negative, just say low vibration. All the low vibrating stuff is anxiety,
Fear,
fear,
guilt.
judgment, all
Yeah.
that stuff.
Mhm,
And it's really easy to kind of just default to that
mhm.
because in some ways, which is ridiculous, in some ways it feels more real. It's bizarre for
Hmm,
me anyway. I'm talking like if you think of all the worst things, it just somehow it feels more real,
hmm.
which is crazy because it's just all in your head anyway. And
When
then
you say feels more real, what do you mean?
um, well, this is like a classic kind of thought is like, well, it's good now, but the other shoe's about to drop or
Yeah,
whatever that expression is. But see how long it lasts,
yeah.
or don't count your eggs, chickens
Chick
before they hatch.
yeah.
It's like all these kind of things we've been taught of. Don't focus on those things because
Get ready.
it's get ready. It's gonna get worse.
Yeah,
So that's when I say it feels real. It's like, well, don't get your hopes up. That
yeah,
another
yeah,
expression, don't
yeah.
get your hopes up. So you
Mhm.
kind of like you feel like you're always defaulting to the negative.
Yeah,
And honestly, the only way I can describe it is it feels more real. I don't know, maybe the word is familiar or safe or I don't know what it is, but it's crazy because they're just two sets of energies
yeah,
and you can choose. They're no less real or more real than they're both real.
yeah,
Just but they both live in your mind.
yeah.
So,
Well, it said, like, if you don't feel a sense of safety or security, you're always looking for things that are a threat. So you're kind of at the ready to to
yeah,
be prepared for something. So if
yeah,
you feel safe and secure, the you I don't think you do that as much. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah,
and this goes back to what makes you feel safe and secure. And this, I know for me, it kind of always comes back to trusting that I'm not alone.
Yeah.
And that trust gives me security and safety and comfort. And so for me, and I'm, in this conversation about why I'm able to connect or what it is, um, I don't find myself defaulting to fear.
Do you have to when you're in a situation, do you have to, like, remind yourself, like, "Oh, don't worry, I'm not alone." Do you have to do that?
No.
Say, "I have to."
Yeah.
That's the difference because
Yeah.
I know what that feels like, but I end up kind of it's almost a way of talking myself
Yeah,
out
I can
of
see
where
that.
I just naturally
Yeah.
wanna go.
Yeah. But that's also, I think, something that's it's like neuroplasticity. You know what I mean? There's if you're used to it and you just
Yeah,
keep doing it, it becomes like a muscle, you're
yeah,
saying, it's a muscle that just becomes that's your default state. But
yeah.
um I mean, I think that for me it was a process of getting there. It wasn't, I've always kind of had a
Mhm.
sense, but I think that the more I've leaned into that, the more it's become more of my state.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
there's definitely a path of getting there, but,
yeah,
um, anyway.
yeah, cool,
Huh.
cool.
Alright. Well,
Well, I
we
hope
just
to get
chatted a lot about that. Welcome to our home.
Yeah, exactly, just a normal conversation around here.
Yeah.
So, well, I hope it's been helpful. Started off with dreams, and I
Yeah.
think it kinda meandered through some stuff, but,
Yeah.
I hope you got something out of this
Yeah, it's
today.
always so interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We'll see you again soon.
Exactly. Sweet dreams.
Bye-bye.
Bye.